Beseech the Mirror in all formats. Today we're playing in Modern Oops All Spells featuring Balustrade Spy, Goblin Charbelcher, and Irencrag feat. This deck list is sweet. Let's go check it out. This is it. This is Modern Oops All Spells, and I'm so excited to play it today. This is actually a donation deck from a longtime supporter, Braden. Braden, thank you for your support. We really do appreciate it here at the Epic Storm. Well, I worked with Braden and my good friend Anthony Laverde to provide you all with the deck list today, and one of the big innovations was main deck Copy of Grief alongside Thoughtseize to protect yourself. A classic problem with this archetype is not really being able to secure your wins against things like Endurance or whatever. And here we have 8 main deck discard spells, but we also get a little bit of a scam package thanks to our mana base with Malakir Rebirth. This way you have protected wins, and when you're winning on turn 3 or 4, that's pretty good in Modern. One of the obviously big improvements to this deck today is Beseech the Mirror from Wilds of Eldraine. That's what I'm most excited about today. When you've played this deck in the past, Goblin Charbelcher wasn't exactly the fastest win. Well, when you have one main deck copy of Irencrag feat, it actually becomes more of a primary win because you can search up the Irencrag feat with the Beseech the Mirror, make 7 mana, and Goblin Charbelcher all in one swift move on turn 3. When you don't have the Goblin Charbelcher win, you have either Undercity Informer or Balustrade Spy, and then you mill your entire deck. In your upkeep, you use Jack-o'-lantern to make a green mana, you flashback Memory's Journey, and then you cast Unearth, getting back the Thassa's Oracle. That's another way you can win. But with this win, you have to pass the turn. So today, I'm willing to bet I win a lot more with Goblin Charbelcher than I do with Thassa's Oracle. That's one of the things we're going to find out. This deck list looks incredibly consistent to me. It's now disruptive. I think it has real legs in the Modern format. In the sideboard, we have Leyline of Sanctity against opposing scam matchups playing Grief or whatever. We have Prismatic Ending for Dauthi Voidwalker and, Pithing Needle on Goblin Charbelcher. We have Pact of Negation to protect our win from blue decks. Defense Grid, same thing. And then a Engineered Explosives to answer, whatever permanents. That is the deck list. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you in the first round. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Time for round number 1. We are on the play with Modern Oops. Okay, let's see what our lands are. We have 2 blue lands, no black lands. We do have a couple, discard spells. We have the Grief. I want to keep this, but I don't think I'm supposed to. I'm going to mulligan. Okay, this seems decent. Here I think we're supposed to bottom the Grief and then pray that we draw a land. Okay. We'll play our Agadeem's Awakening, going to 17 life, because who doesn't like to Lightning Bolt themselves? And then we'll cast a Thoughtseize, which will bring us down to 15 life. We're facing Hardened Scales, and they've opened up on 2 of their namesake. So I think taking them off of Hardened Scales isn't relevant here, so let's take away the Ravager. Try to slow down how quickly they can level up their creatures. We stand a real shot at winning this game as long as we draw a land on our next draw step. Draw. It was a land! Who's a lucky guy? Who's a lucky guy? Play the Talisman, pass the turn. Untap, will probably draw another land. I'm just being cocky at this point. And then win the game. I guess technically I would need to draw one of our 3 remaining Agadeem's Awakening, because it would have to be an untapped black source as well. So that's not super likely. We drew a tapped black land. So we'll play that. And then let's leave the blue mana open. Let's pretend we have some interaction here. We'll play the Talisman and pass the turn. Springleaf Drum. Another Hardened Scales. The Ozolith. Okay. So we're going to untap and attempt to win the game now. We draw another copy of Beseech the Mirror. I'll take 1 damage. We will cast Beseech, bargaining away the white-black Talisman. And this is why having 1 copy of Irencrag feat just makes so much sense in this deck. So we're going to cast this powerful 4-mana red sorcery into Goblin Charbelcher and send our opponent home. Click, click, boom! No lands. And they didn't even want to see my deck. That was very nice of them. Okay, game number 2. We probably want some copies of Prismatic Ending. That makes sense to me. Maybe move away from Grief. Not really sure how you're supposed to board with this deck, if I'm being honest. I was thinking maybe board down on Grief just because it requires you to use more resources, and maybe we don't want to do that in post-board games. But if you're an Oopsal expert, feel free to let me know. I'm certainly not. Interesting. We have both the Memories Journey and the Thassa's Oracle. We only have 1 land. I don't think that this is a keep. This is essentially a mulligan to 5 already. Yeah, we're going to go to 6. Interesting. This is pretty good. I think I'm down to keep this. Get rid of the Beseech. Turn 1 Grove of the Burn Willows. And a Needle. Good thing I have this Prismatic Ending. They named Belcher, that's fine. We drew another Mirror's Call. I'm happy with land 4, really. I don't think I'm going to take 3 damage here, because next turn, I can play another land, take 3, play my Talisman, and then ending this Needle, and it actually saves me just a tiny bit of damage, and I think that's worth it. They play the Wasp and an Ozolith. They have 2 cards left in their hand. Aghanim's Awakening is a good one. I'm not going to complain there. I go to 17. We'll play the Talisman. Tap this for a white, and then I'll Prismatic Ending on the Needle. I mean, I could go after the Ozolith or this Wasp. They only have 2 cards. I'm just worried about being surprised dead, but maybe I'm being a baby. Like, we could just win with the Undercity Informer. Alright, let's win with the Informer. Pass the turn. Our opponent taps 2 lands and plays an Arcbound Ravager. You've got it. They have the Ozolith to put a counter onto it, so now the Ravager is a 2/2. We draw a Jawari Disruption. We'll take 3 down to 13. And I'll play the Undercity Informer. We will pass the turn. Our opponent plays an Urza's Saga. So that must have been their draw step because they missed a land drop last turn. And they play a Haywire Might. Okay. So I'm glad that I didn't go for the Needle win, like removing the Needle. So pretty happy with that choice right now. They'll leave the Needle in play and go after the Wasp. If I had known that they were going to play a Haywire Might, I would have tapped the Talisman. Alright, so we'll block. They have to take an action or else their creature dies. They sacrifice the Ozolith. And now we can sacrifice our Undercity Informer to itself. And I'm going to deck myself. So our opponent has 1 card in hand. That card right now needs to be some sort of graveyard hate spell or else I win. Alright, in our upkeep, I'm going to make a green mana, and then Memory's Journey, targeting myself, and let's put the Unearth back in the deck. We'll now go to draw, and I will cast the Unearth on the Thassa's Oracle. The Oracle has entered the battlefield! And just like that, we have won match number 1 with both of our ways to win, which is pretty sweet. Let's see if we can get the next 4. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2, we're on the play. Our opponent reveals a Kahira the Orphan Guard. We've opened up a Belcher hand. I think I'm going to try this. Kahira usually means counterspells, which has me a little bit nervous, but I am not going to mulligan this hand. We'll play the land and pass the turn. I would love to draw a Grief or a Thoughtseize. There's a Spy. I'll take 3 going to 17, and let's play Talisman of Dominance. Alright, they play Triome. Yeah, this is definitely a deck with a lot of counterspells. Basic Forest. Up the Beanstalk. They're giving me a window here. Our opponent will draw off up the Beanstalk. Okay, if they don't have a Teferi, I'm feeling okay here. I think we just have to jam. Teferi or Leyline Binding. That's what we're really concerned with here. Belcher has resolved. Do we get to untap with it in play? Our opponent activates their Windswept Heath. They thought for, you know, a good long while on this turn, so do they have the answer? Is it just a Teferi bounce? What is happening here? They grab a Triome. Okay. Are you just dead? What's going on? I'll activate Belcher targeting you. And it has resolved. I'm just going to click any order. Sweet. We have taken game number 1 from Beanstalk control. And now we're going to the post-board games, where we definitely want Defense Grid. I believe we want Pact of Negation. I wonder if this is a matchup that you're just supposed to board out the Spy package. I don't know if you're actually allowed to do that, though. I'm just talking out loud. You can feel free to call me an idiot or whatever, but I'm just having thoughts. Like, are these matchups that we actually want Prismatic Ending is another question. And I'm not sure that we do. I mean, it hits Teferi, but is that really what's relevant? I think we probably want the... I mean, if I'm boarding in Explosives, that means I probably want the Prismatic Ending. I definitely want the Grief. Let's shave one Jack-o'-lantern. Probably board up the extra Talismans. Maybe cut down on a couple copies of Beseech the Mirror. Still at 61. I'm running out of time here. I don't really know what the plan is. Let's board out one Mauling. I don't really know. Maybe that's bad and I should just board out the Emeria's Call. I mean, this seems okay. I'm down to try this. I mean, I don't love having the Memories Journey in my hand, but it seems reasonable. Our opponent plays a Triome. We draw the Rebirth. I could try to scam them here. Alright, I guess we're scamming. I go to 17. Let's play Grief. We will stack the Evoke trigger second. We'll take the Solitude. Actually, should I leave them with Solitude? What to do, what to do. We'll take the Leyline Binding. And then let's Malachor Rebirth the Grief. And they Solitude pitching Teferi. That was best possible outcome for me. I knew that I stacked it that way for a reason. I love it. Alright, so sorry, I felt like I was going to sneeze there. So Solitude exiles the Grief. Sweet. And then the Rebirth fizzles. Hallowed Fountain, and then they're probably going to play up the Beanstalk. Sure thing. We will draw. Emeria's Call. That's not bad. We do need a payoff, but setting up with defense grids is certainly good as well. They have found land number 3. They grab a tap land. And then they're going to tap my defense grid and draw a card. This is not a mono artifact. It still works when it is tapped. For those of you that are old like me. We draw another land, which is... Maybe I should have played the Rebirth this turn. A slight oversight on my part. So in my mind, I was like, I want this in case I draw another Grief. But if I draw a Grief, I could hardcast it. And this means that if I drew a Goblin Charbelcher next turn, I could play it. So this was actually just a mistake keeping this in my hand. That was a punt. The One Ring. Okay. You are protected from everything. Beseech the Mirror. I can't cast it. But not a bad draw. We need another black source. Our opponent draws 2 cards. Teferi. So that means that Beseech the Mirror's bargain will no longer work. But if I draw a black card, we can just, 4-mana Diabolic Tutor. They bounce Defense Grid. We'll replay it. They besiege you the other. Interesting. We'll shuffle. Why not? Okay. They have 4 cards. Thoughtseize. Let's play that. A pair of Furies and another One Ring. Fire Ice. I guess we take the other One Ring. Play Defense Grid and we'll pass the turn. They go down to 11 life. It's worth noting they do not have double red yet, so they cannot cast one of these Furies. They plus Teferi. Another Besiege. We'll shuffle. Okay. At this point, I'm kind of hoping that the One Ring just, kills them. And now they will ice down one of my lands. Sure. We drew a Spy. We have to pass. So it's worth noting, I cannot upkeep Memories Journey with a Teferi in play. So for this Spy plan to work, I would need 6 lands. Our opponent loses 3 life from the One Ring. They are now drawing 4 cards up to 10. They plus the Teferi. which would be able to bounce their One Ring moving forward, so they will not die to their own copy of the One Ring. But they have another anyway. I believe we have missed our window this game and we are no longer capable of winning. Alright, I'll pick it up there. We can go to the next game. Probably want the Mauling over the Emeria's Call. I don't think I'm supposed to board in Prismatic Ending just for Teferi. That feels wrong to me. Maybe I'm just not supposed to board out any lands, but if that's the case, I don't know what we're doing. Like, I could just board out all of the Beseeches because they're bad against Teferi, and then that allows me to bring in one more artifact to ramp into. Let's try this, I suppose. Well, if I'm... that was dumb. If I'm boarding out Beseech, I have to board out Irencrag Feet. I realized it the second that I hit submit. Oh, geez. This is actually pretty good. We're going to keep this. Okay, we will play turn 1 Emeria's Call. Pass the turn. Our opponent kept 7. My best draw right now is probably a Talisman, and I would love one. Jawari Disruption. Okay. I'll take 3, and we're going to play a Pented Prism with Sunburst for 2 counters. We'll pass. Sacred Foundry, so they now have Leyline Binding completely unlocked. And they're going to pass. Interesting. We draw a Talisman. So if I think I'm supposed to play this a little bit more slowly. And I'm going to just play the Talisman and pass, because next turn I could Balustrade Spy, Thassa's Oracle, 1 Swift Motion. Force of Vigor. Wow, that's a blowout. Yep. Wow. That hurt. They iced down my land. They still have 5 cards. Thoughtseize. Let's play it. Take the One Ring. They have a Leyline Binding and a Solitude. We can beat that. Our opponent fetches Rent and 6. I do not care about that as your draw. They played the Windswept Teeth that they picked up, so we know their entire hand right now. We draw Grief. So, I mean, I could remove the Leyline Binding, play Belcher. We know that they have a bunch of Besejus in their deck, so I feel like that's like... It's not the cleanest win. So if I play Spy and deck myself, I can upkeep Memory's Journey, but if they draw exactly Teferi, I lose. They have more draws that kill the Belcher, but I don't lose on the spot. I think you're supposed to take the gamble on Balustrade Spy, because I think you effectively lose if they answer your Belcher. Target ourselves. Okay, please do not draw Teferi on me. They did not fetch to Thin. They're going to return Windswept Teeth, and they're going to pass. In our upkeep, I'm going to use Jack-o'-lantern and make a green. Memory's Journey, targeting myself. And they have 1 unknown draw. We can do Thoughtseize, Unearth. Okay, so that is resolved. I guess we'll pitch the Unearth to the Grief. Target them. Oh, I forgot with Oracle that I want my deck to be empty. So maybe selecting 3 was wrong. I didn't think about that until just now. I am not very good with this deck, let me tell you. Mistakes left and right. Yeah, this was just a punt. We'll take the Leyline Binding. Let's see if our opponent messes up and plays the Solitude on the Spy here. They are fetching. Breeding Pool, okay. They did not, so they must have realized, and now we'll pass. They return another Windswept Teeth, they play another land. We will cast Thoughtseize. This time they play the Solitude. Sure thing. They have nothing. And even with all of my poor play, we're going to win match number 2 versus the One Ring pile. Sweet. Alright, well, we are officially 2-0. This deck's so good, even someone as bad as me can win with it. Let's go get the next 3. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round 3 on the play. So we have 2 lands, we have a Belcher, we have Grief. Sure, we'll keep. Sorry if I sound a little congested today. I'm recovering from being sick. I haven't recorded in almost a full week just because I was, was gross. So if I seem a little more nasally than normal or sick, well, I am. Thanks for watching anyway. I really do appreciate it. Our opponent's mulligan to 5. Well, we're going to greet their mulligan to 5 with a grief. Looks like they're on some sort of mono green food deck. Let's take this Gilded Goose. We'll play Seagate Restoration tapped, and then I'll pass the turn. They play their forest, and they drew a cookbook. So that way they get to make a food with their Oval-Chased Daredevil. It will then return to their hand. We drew another land, that's fine. And by fine, I mean actually fairly good, because next turn we can use the Pented Prism to accelerate into Goblin Charbelcher, play this as a tapped land, and then we'll have 3 mana for the following turn. They drew their second land, so now they can play Finale for the Asmo. They don't do that, though. Okay. Sure. You're trying to play a value game. I am not. We draw another Grief. We don't have another black card, unfortunately. Play the Goblin Charbelcher, and then we'll play this tapped land. And good luck, opponent. And our opponent concedes. Sweet. That's what I would like to happen. Am I even supposed to sideboard? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say no. Let's just try running it back. Game number 2, and we've opened up another easy Belcher win. Keep. This one may not even have to pass the turn depending on what our draw steps are. Well, that was certainly a good one. Let's play the Juari Disruption. That guarantees a turn 3 win. They play a second land. Assassin's Trophy. That wasn't very nice. Alright, no turn 3 win this time. I don't have any lands in my deck? That's insane. How lucky. Salt, salt, salt. I'm kidding. Alright, we'll lose 3 and then lose 2 more all the way down to 15 life. Thoughtseize. Force of Vigor, huh? I don't think that's one I'm going to allow you to have. So we'll get rid of that. Pass the turn. They play their Urza's Saga. And then Finale, where X equals 1. They grab their Asmo. I believe you can play X equals 0. I'm pretty sure you can. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I believe that's how the card works. So they could have had a cookbook in play this turn. We will play the Seagate. Ouch, 12 life. Pentad Prism. We will now pass the turn. Urza's Saga moves up to 2 counters. They play tap land. Ouch, we'll take 3 all the way down to 9 life. We draw Undercity Informer. Well, we're going to Belcher win, so we don't need that. Let's make black, black. Tap the Aghanim, and this land we will cast Beseech the Mirror, bargaining away the Pented Prism after it made mana for us. So good. And then we'll grab the Irencrag Feet, cast it, Goblin Charbelcher. Activate targeting you. Pew pew! Alright, well that was match number 3. Easy wins! I love it! Someone as bad as me can win the game. It's just unfair. We're 3-0, 2 matches left. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. This deck is way too good. We are keeping this hand in match number 4. I love it. Our opponent is ready to begin. Let's go! They are on 5 cards. We're on the draw with 7. Turn 1 Urza's Saga. Don't care. I do care about that. I mean, that's a pretty good one. Alright, being on the draw, not ideal. FalseMufn, please do not kill me. You seem like a nice person. Don't kill me. I don't want to die. I guess my best draw is a Grief. Yeah, it would be a Grief, because I don't want to have to use the mana off a Pented Prism. They play a Crumbling Vestige, so... or Vestige, however you would like to say it. They make a blue. They make a Construct, that's fine. Another Belcher. I will go to 17. We'll play a Pented Prism. Pass the turn! Our opponent makes a colorless. They grab another Amulet of Vigor. A third Amulet of Vigor, a Boros Garrison. So, I mean, I'm not very good at Amulet Titan, but I'm pretty sure you cannot cast a Primeval Titan off red or white mana. So what is going on? The One Ring. Well, that's obnoxious. I can't win right now. What am I supposed to do? I wonder if I'm supposed to just pivot into the spy plan? That's very unfortunate. Well-timed One Ring. We'll play spy. Target myself. I don't think there's a reason for me to wait on this memories journey. Target myself. And if I do the Thassa's Oracle, I can just play Talisman of Dominance next turn into the Oracle and not have to worry about Bojuka Bog. So I think that's the game plan. Pass the turn. I also have double Jack-o'-lantern if I need to. Okay, so they're going to draw 2 cards off the One Ring here. I am definitely dead to a Primeval Titan. They draw 2 cards off the One Ring. You have 6 cards. You have a green source. All it takes is a Primeval Titan or a Summoner's Pact to kill me. And the reason I didn't just play Goblin Charbelcher and pass is that if our opponent had a second copy of the One Ring, the Thassa's Oracle win beats that. So I was trying to play around a second copy of the One Ring as well. After much deliberation, our opponent plays a Summoner's Pact. I don't know why that took so long. They grab a Dryad of the Elysian Grove. So you already have a Primeval Titan? It's very odd. Maybe they're trying to kill me without going to combat for some reason? Or they couldn't make green-green? That has to be it. They couldn't make green-green. So now they're playing a Grazer into Stronghold. I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely not a Titan expert, but I feel like our opponent made this more difficult than it needed to be. They're now transmuting Teleria West. Sure. They have no cards in hand. So is this just like a Bojuka Bog? Like, what are you doing? After much deliberation, our opponent has decided to just concede the game. Whew. Alright, up a game. I honestly have no clue how I'm supposed to board against this matchup. Like, Leyline of Sanctity stops Endurance, but our opponent's going to be boarding in Force of Vigor as well. And you could board in Pact of Negation specifically for Endurance, but is that really what you want to be doing? And they make tons of mana, so Defense Grid's not very good. So I think like you probably want Prismatic Ending just to slow them down, but what do you board out? Like, are you boarding out consistency cards? Because I'm not sure if I even like that. Maybe board out like a couple copies of Talisman, the second Jack-o'-lantern, because I think we really only need one of those. Maybe like one Beseech, or like one of the spy effects. Let's do one spy effect. I like Beseech for turboing into Irencrag feat. Well, we have 3 lands, Belcher. We have the Irencrag. I don't know. I just don't think that this is good enough. I'm going to ship it. I guess we're keeping this. We'll bottom of Beseech the Mirror. Opponent plays Forest into Amulet of Vigor. White land. Nope. Alright, we'll play our tap land and pass the turn. The Mycosynth Gardens. They now have 2 copies of Amulet of Vigor. I am in trouble. And there's our white land a turn too late. Why are you like this, deck? Do you find this funny? Jeez. Pass. And they're passing. Okay. They have 5 cards in hand. Pentad Prism. That could be a win next turn. We'll play that land tapped. Play the Pentad Prism. And we have to pray to the Storm God Kuranos that we get to untap. Simic Growth Chamber. That's 4 mana. The One Ring. They did it to me again. Okay. Another Malakir Rebirth. I'm going to play a Rebirth here and just pass the turn. I don't want to play the Beseech into Spy game because if our opponent has an Endurance in the post-board games, I'm going to get blown out of the water. I'd rather just try to get them with the Goblin Charbelcher. Am I dead? I suppose something I could have done that I didn't consider because I was too busy being frustrated about the One Ring is I could have Beseeched the Mirror not using the bargain cost and going to go get a Prismatic Ending for the Amulet. It would have left me with 1 counter on the Pentad Prism, but maybe that's not even a good play because it puts me 2 turns off of winning with the Belcher. I don't have strong opinions, but if I die here, that was an option I had. Our opponent draws 2 cards. Another Mycosynth Gardens. Wait, you're not really passing, are you? They blow up my Pentad Prism. That's not very nice. Okay. So if I draw a Talisman, I can win here, or another Pentad Prism? Draw, and it's another Beseech. We'll play the Rebirth. Just going to play the Belcher. Pass the turn. They draw 3 cards. They have 11 cards in hand. If you can't win from here, I don't know what your deck is doing. They play their Dryad. Sure. 2 untapped lands. You have another Beseiju here? Sure. Shuffle away. We draw Grief. Let's grief them. Why are they not winning? Yeah, I can't beat this. We're going to go to the next game. Very odd. I will resubmit. Alright, game 3. This one's interesting. I mean, I think I'm going to keep it. Alright, so you have a pretty tough decision here. So your best draw is probably Pentad Prism, but Pentad Prism doesn't get you to triple black. But hypothetically, you drew Pentad Prism plus another black source, which is asking for a lot. You could Turbo Belcher win. Okay. Well, I could keep the Undercity Informer, but we need to draw a black source for that anyway. And I think Beseech the Mirror is a little bit of wishful thinking at this point, so I'm going to get rid of that. But if I draw a Pentad Prism plus a black source, obviously I'm going to be a little bit sad. Silence. I don't think I care about silence. We will take this Azusa Lost But Seeking, though. Play the Jawari Disruption and pass the turn. There's an Urza's Saga. We drew another Spy. Did not need. We will play a land and pass. Urza's Saga moves up to 2 counters. They play their Selesnya Sanctuary and they pick up the Saga. So they're really valuing this silence. There's our black land. I like that. Pass. Our opponent plays Urza's Saga. Okay, am I being silenced? No. Okay. I will go to 17. Here's a Goblin Charbelcher. The Belcher resolves. And no Force of Vigor. Okay. Urza's Saga moves up to 2 counters. And our opponent concedes. Nice. We are now 4-0. 1 match left from greatness. Let's go see if we can manage it. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. For the trophy, we are on the play match number 5. We have Grief, Thoughtseize. I mean, this hand seems amazing to me. I am down. So you might be saying, I would wait a turn and try to do the Grief whatever package. I don't think that plan is going to win a game here. So I'm going to just exile the Malakir Rebirth and make sure our opponent doesn't, have a great start. Yeah, get rid of that Goblin Guide. You don't get to do that. And now we'll play this tapped black land and pass the turn. Wooded Foothills, and they're passing. We'll play another tapped land here, and they'll Thoughtseize. So you might be saying I wouldn't cast this versus a burn deck. If I get to discard their Boros Charm, it saves me 2 damage. Yeah, goodbye Boros Charm. Nice Searing Blaze. That's not going to do anything. Okay, I'm at 15. They play a Sunbaked Canyon. We'll draw for turn. Another Grief. Okay. Play my land. Pass the turn. They Skullcrack, so they did draw a spell that turn. I'm at 12. They play a land that we did not know about, so we know about both of these cards. So if I Grief them here, they can cast the Searing Blaze. I'm going to take a calculated risk. I'm going to put myself to 9. Goblin Charbelcher. We know that their 2 cards in hand don't deal any damage. So they're going to draw a card with their Sunbaked Canyon, and then they have to deal me 9 damage on their next turn. And they can only do it with 2 cards. That's not very probable, therefore we're going to win game number 1. Lava Spike, I'm at 6. I'm at 3. And now on our upkeep, I will Belch you. I'm also a burn deck. Boom! Okay. 1 more game. I mean, I want the trophy. I think it would be sweet. This deck's really awesome. Definitely want these Leyline of Sanctities, that's for sure. I don't think we want Thoughtseize in this matchup. And I think I'm going to cut the Griefs for Prismatic Endings. Let's try this. Okay, game number 2. Getting tired. Tired and sick is not a good combo. So this hand is basically a mulligan to 6 with no payoff. That said, we have double Leyline, so we're good against Wear Tear. I kind of think that this is a keep. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm going to try it. Leyline, Leyline. Good luck. They have the Goblin Guide. Oh no, we don't have any lands in our deck. So unlucky. Just brutal. We'll play the Jwari Disruption, pass the turn. They attack for 2. We draw an Unearth. I'm going to just play it nice and slow. Play this Jack-o'-lantern because it cycles and we can hopefully draw into something we actually want. They fetch. Smash the smithereens on my Jack-o'-lantern. Ouch. So now they'll attack with Goblin Guide. I go to 11. We reveal another land. Things are not looking so great for us at the moment. We'll play a Tapped Amiria's Call and a Pented Prism. The one nice thing is if I draw one of the spy effects, having Unearth in hand, I can just win on the spot. Okay. They have 4 cards. Undercity Informer! Yes! Let's go! So we'll play the Informer, and now we'll sacrifice it and target ourselves. Okay. Our graveyard is now full, and we have no library. I'll remove a black counter from this Pented Prism, and cast the Unearth, picking up Thassa's Oracle. Do you have graveyard hate? Our opponent concedes! We have got the 5-0 trophy! Yes! Thank you to Braden for today's donation deck. Thank you to Anthony Laverde for helping me, fix up this deck list. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to all of you for watching. Let's talk about some final thoughts. I mean, 5-0 deck list was clearly perfect. I'm not being serious. I think there's some things you could do. I think that maybe Engineered Explosives isn't needed in the sideboard. Maybe you want another juke in the board. I'm not really sure. I thought the deck list was pretty good, though. I don't know if I'd change much other than this Engineered Explosives. That's pretty much it. Obviously, I played pretty terribly in round 2 and we still won. So this deck list is great and I love it. So have a great day. Keep storming and good luck belching. Hey, Bryant Cook. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. There's no better way to support our channel. If you're interested in elevating your combo game, visit theepicstorm.com/tutoring for details about our coaching sessions. Don't worry, there's more great combo content coming right up.